Welcome to Man Cave Media. Today, I'm rescuing another MacBook. Let's go. All right, you can say that I have a problem with old, ancient MacBooks. um, the certain models, when I see them on a recycle pile or a trash pile or anything like that, when I see one just sitting dormant and not getting the love it deserves, I feel the need to rescue it for whatever reason. Old MacBooks, old Mac Pros, things of that nature, things that are still upgradable and still usable. I just feel the need to rescue them. Subscribers of my channel, you've seen me do a similar MacBook Pro, but the 13-inch, I believe it was. And my son uses that for school. So I saw this one at my work. It was sitting on one of my coworkers' workbenches, and he jokingly labeled it paperweight. It's going to be hard for my camera to pick that up because it's a white label, but yeah, he labeled it paperweight. And it's not that, he's not aware that it is still useful. It's that in our work environment, at our workplace, it's not useful. And so in his eyes at work, it is essentially just hold down some papers for you is all it's good for. So anyways, I asked him, hey, do you mind if I mess with that? And get it working and let my other kid use it for school. And he's like, sure, take it. I just need the hard drive out of it, which is no problem at all because I'm not using the spin drive that's in here. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But anyways, this is a mid-20 or early 2011. I don't remember. I think early 2011. 15-inch MacBook Pro. It currently has 8 gigabytes of RAM installed and a 1 terabyte spinny. That all of that stuff's coming out. And the screen and everything is in great shape. The body, let me get this cover off. So it's been in this cover, this hard shell cover, for most of its life. So it's in pretty good shape. We used to use these MacBooks to manage our fleet of iPads before the invention of an MDM. And so as you can see, like the lid for this guy, still immaculate shape. I'm actually going to use the lid to set it on so I don't scratch it. Yeah, the bottom cover is also, just great shape. Great shape. Like these were very heavily used, but in a controlled environment by people who respected it. So it is in great shape, which is always helpful. Now I see these on eBay all the time, between $200 to $500 depending on their condition. If you can get it closer to the $200 range, then the upgrades I'm going to do right now make it definitely worth it. If you find one that's $500, in that range, try to find one that has some or all of the upgrades that I'm doing today already done, and then that will make it more worth it. But let me show you what we've got going on today. From iFixIt, I got the dual SSD kit. I'll do some unboxing right now, actually. So like I mentioned, I got this dual SSD kit from iFixIt. I have two 240 gigabyte SSDs. And then the kit includes this enclosure. So this replaces the CD-ROM, which we are not going to need anymore. Nice enough to give you a little screwdriver. Yeah, all this is it's an adapter for the second SSD, and it just goes in place of the super drive. Very handy little thing. And I also got a RAM kit, which is what's in here. So the max RAM that this thing will handle is 16 gigs. So I got a 16 gig kit, and yay, another screwdriver. I have 4 of those now. So there it is from iFixIt, the 2 8GB sticks of RAM. And that will make this a pretty nice machine. So this iFixIt kit has been around for a while. You've probably seen a few other YouTube videos of people installing these. Really straightforward. Remove the super drive. Plug in one of the SSDs into this tray. Install it. Good to go. RAM also on this particular model of MacBook is very straightforward. This is one of the easier MacBooks to work on. And so this should be a pretty easy install. Like my other MacBook that I had that my kid is using, the OS, I'm just going to go as far as this thing would go, supported by Apple. I'm not going to use OpenCore yet. Most of the stuff that they use is all web-based, so I'm not that concerned about it. Once it gets to the point where things they're trying to do for school doesn't work anymore, then I will use OpenCore and bring it up to the current OS, or as far as I can go with it with OpenCore. But for now, just what Apple supports. So anyhow, let's go ahead and let's get this bottom panel off and let's jump into this, shall we? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this bottom cover off. The cool thing about iFixIt, when they include a screwdriver with their kit, they also include the bit that you need to remove the screws, which is always nice of them. All right, usually these are pretty loose, so you don't always need the smudger, but since they gave me one, I'm gonna use it. But yeah, it just pops right up. Like so. One thing I do kind of regret not doing is replacing the battery. I should have ordered a battery, but I think that this one still has plenty of life left in it, so it should be good. But yeah, I do kind of regret not buying a battery. I guess it's not too late, obviously, but yeah, probably should have done that. Alright, out with the hard drive number 1. I need to be gentle with this because my coworker would like it back. And I'm going to set this to the side just so I don't mess it up. Gah. So I'm removing this connector just to get it out of the way. See if I can work around it. The instructions do say to disconnect the Wi-Fi, but I think I can get it out without doing that. I don't like working with those little, those little antennas. They're kind of a pain. I try to avoid messing with those if I can. So I think if I'm just, gentle about it, should be okay. I think I do have to disconnect the SATA cable, which is fine. So the screw or the screws, I should say, that hold the DVD drive in are not Phillips head. That is why I couldn't get any bite on those. I thought maybe one was stripped, but they are not Phillips. There we go. Scared myself. I thought they were stripped out. So for the drive screws themselves, it's a T6, FYI. Make note. And then I did this off camera, disconnect the drive from the board and then lift it out like so. I'm going to be gentle with that as well because it is a perfectly good working drive. And then I have a bracket to transfer over. On the back of the drive, there's a little bracket right here that I'm going to transfer over to the adapter. This one not T6. Oh, of course. It's Phillips. That figures. All right, the adapter transferred over. I'm gonna install one of the drives. All right, so it's got 2 screws in the back, 2 set screws that you can adjust so that it will slide in no problem. There we go, that's much better. Perfect. And one thing I forgot to take off the drive itself is the SATA connection. So get that off right now. Go ahead and connect that. I'll put this little guy back in. There we go. Reinsert. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Put that T6 back in here. So yeah, just an FYI, if you've got big hands like I do, and you're concerned about messing with these Wi-Fi cables, you can totally do this. Because I think like step 3, they want you to remove these. But you can totally do this without removing them. It's very possible. Just be gentle. That is that. I can go ahead and screw this guy back down. I wish Apple would have just made all these screws the same, but you know, it is Apple. Oh. The long one goes over here. There we go. Now, I think on the 13-inch model, this is actually a speaker. On the 15-inch, I'm not sure where the speaker is, to be honest. Let's start plugging stuff back in. You shouldn't have to push hard on these connectors. If you line them up right, it should just snap right back on with a very little fuss. If you find that it's too hard to push down, it's probably not lined up. Don't force it. So earlier I removed these screws because I wasn't sure how to remove the drive or where the screws were for the drive, but you don't have to loosen these or take these off. So that was my bad. I'll go ahead and put them back. Same with the SATA cable for the hard drive. I removed those screws, but you don't have to. That was my mistake. Back in with that. Let's get the other hard drive in really quick. Just like so. Alright, that's it for the hard drives. That's the hard part. Now for the easy stuff, let's go ahead and get the RAM. Again, this is perfectly good RAM, so I'm going to be gentle. Wow, that bottom stick is kind of hard to get out. Do I have to remove this to get the RAM out? What's going on here? There we go. My goodness. That bottom stick is kind of a pain. Alright, iFixIt stick number 1. See if I can get it to go in easier than it came out. Oh yeah. No problem. No problem going in, just didn't want to come out. Alright, that'll do her. Put the bottom cover back on. Get to installing some Mac OS. Do a quick visual here, make sure that we got everything plugged in. Everything looks good. Alright. Not sure how I did it, but I managed to lose a screw. Well, iFixIt gives you some. Not to worry. That's going to bother me for the rest of the day. Was that already missing? Anyways, alright. Get this mess squared away and then we'll do some installs. Alright, so here we go with the Mac OS High Sierra install. For some reason I thought that this MacBook will take Catalina, but I was mistaken. The highest this guy will go is High Sierra, but I did have to use my oldest son's MacBook to download High Sierra because I did not have a copy of it. So I downloaded High Sierra with that MacBook, created an install disk, and getting it installed on this MacBook now. And then I'm probably going to use OpenCore. So I haven't decided 100%. But I'm probably still going to use OpenCore to bring this guy up to Ventura. Probably. I still haven't decided. On the fence still. But anyways, moving forward with the install of Mac OS High Sierra, which is the most current version of Mac OS that this particular MacBook will support. And away we go. Alright, install complete. Nice fresh copy of Mac OS High Sierra. I'm going to check it for any updates. I downloaded this file directly from Apple, so I doubt there are going to be any updates. They should have, gave me the most recent one. But most importantly, there's all 16 gigs of the RAM that I installed. They are being recognized, and let's see. I know the hard drives are already being recognized from the install process, but just to show you, there are both of my SSDs. So far pretty snappy. It works really well, which they usually do when you upgrade the RAM and do a fresh install. I'm gonna poke around a little bit more and then we'll run some tests. All right, just a few quality of life tests here, because I don't expect anybody to use this for anything more than a web browser or simple word processor. But I'm going to go ahead and run a speed test. Let's see how this old Wi-Fi card is working in this guy. Do a quick speed test. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Yeah, it's pretty good. Not bad for this old Wi-Fi card. Oops, I accidentally hit test again. Cancel, cancel. All right, now I'm going to run speedometer really quick. Start test. All right, that's not a bad score for an older device. Yeah, it's a very pleasant web browsing experience. All right, so for the same reasons, I did this for my oldest son's MacBook. I decided not to use OpenCore with this guy. I'm going to just go ahead and run it with the OS that is supported from Apple. All of the stuff that he does is web-based, so I'm not that concerned about it. What I'm more concerned about is, putting OpenCore on here and then having something happen, and having something happen while he's trying to do schoolwork and I'm not here to sort it out, and then it's just dead in the water. So gonna avoid using OpenCore for now. I'll put a link down in the description to a YouTube channel that does nothing but OpenCore. If you've never used OpenCore before, it's great software if you want to use the latest Mac OS on an unsupported Mac. You can go back and watch my video on resurrecting that old Mac Pro, the cheese grater Mac Pro. I used OpenCore for that guy and got it up to Monterey. And there's plenty of videos out there on how to use OpenCore and the benefits of it. So I'll go ahead and post links in the description. But for now, I'm not going to use OpenCore on this guy. Maybe in the future, if they want to do something school-related that High Sierra doesn't support, then I'll use OpenCore and I'll bring it up to whatever OS it needs. But for now, High Sierra it is. I bought a hard shell case for this guy. You can pretty much find these for any Mac Pro or MacBook model readily available on eBay. They vary in price from anywhere from like $10 to $25 depending on what you're looking for and what model you have. This particular one was $18, so they have some pretty cool designs. On the other MacBook that I had for my oldest son, he has an Iron Man one, and a lot of people remember that hard shell case from back in those days. The arc reactor is the Apple logo. It's pretty cool. My middle child chose this one, and it looks pretty good, actually. The MacBook performs beautifully. So far, so good. He's been using it for about a week now, and yeah, I mean, another MacBook saved from the landfill. All right, that's all I have for this one. Thank you again for stopping by. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and help feed that algorithm. I hope you have a great afternoon, and like always, thank you for watching.